I gotta know if you can see my pants or not. Is this a good angle for my face, or is this a good angle for your face? Scoop it into the table like this, like I'm talking to my friends. Hi there, it's Molly. I'm at my house. My husband's eating popcorn behind me. My dog wants to come inside. My other dog's probably eating poop right now. These are all the things happening in my world. Also, take a look at my shoe. Isn't it cute? It's a great shoe.
Intro shot, take 2.
Oh, hello there. It's Molly with AllEars, and I am coming to you from my home office with a brand new video. Actually, it's going to be a brand new video series. Not long ago, we posted on social media on the AllEars Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook accounts, and we asked what your Disney questions for me were. And we got so many awesome questions that we've decided to do not one, not two, but a whole series of these videos covering different topics so I can answer as many of your questions as possible. So if you didn't get to ask a question, don't worry, we're gonna repost again so we can keep getting new questions, but I was so excited and overwhelmed by how many people responded and asked great questions that we just wanna cover as many as possible. Today's topic, planning. I'm gonna cover all of the questions you guys sent in about how to plan a vacation, what to do when you're planning, because hey, some of you might be planning a trip right now. And for fun, we're gonna throw in a couple bonus questions at the end, which these were some of the like wacky, crazy, really fun questions that didn't really have a category they fell into. So I hope you're ready. I hope you're excited. Here we go. I think it depends on who you are and what you want to accomplish in each park. If you are a family with little ones, you're probably going to want to repeat Magic Kingdom because there is so much to do at Magic Kingdom, especially for the family as a whole, especially for the kids. So Magic Kingdom is probably my go-to answer for that. It has the most attractions of any park. There's so much entertainment, the parade, the fireworks, there's just so much to do, so many characters, so I would default say Magic Kingdom just because there's the most to do. But I think that again varies on who you are. If you're just adults and you're there maybe during a festival time at Epcot, I would repeat Epcot so that way I could eat more delicious things at the Food and Wine Festival, since Epcot's a little bit more slower paced and you could just walk around and eat and drink, maybe see one of the concerts. So maybe you want to repeat that. Maybe you want to repeat Animal Kingdom because you didn't get on Flight of Passage the first day. Or maybe you want to do Hollywood Studios again because there are so many big ticket attractions there. Maybe you don't get a Rise of the Resistance boarding group the first day. There's a lot of different factors. So I would say if my goal is to get a Rise of the Resistance boarding group, I would make sure to go to Hollywood Studios. I would mark it at least 2 days for Hollywood Studios. And then if you get one, you could change that last plan. Otherwise, I would say for most people, the answer is going to be Magic Kingdom. The Disney Dining Plan is a way to prepay for all your meals and snacks, but it's only available to Disney Resort guests, and you have to book it before you get there. It's not something you can add on. Also, you have to book it for the entire length of your stay and everyone in your room. So mom can't get it and dad not have it or anything like that. You have to get it for everyone in your room. So those are a couple things you need to think about before you're booking the dining plan. There are several different varieties of the dining plan. There is one that offers just quick service meals and snacks. There's one that offers a quick service meal and a couple snacks and a table service meal every day. There's one that you can do quick service or table service at every meal. That's a lot of food. And Disney just came out with another one. So there's a lot of different variability in the dining plans. And really the thing you have to know, or the thing you have to think about, is how much does your family eat and is it worth it to add it? So I'm going to talk about just the standard Disney dining plan, which is the one that comes with a quick service meal, a table service meal, and 2 snacks per person. And it's based on how many nights you're staying there. So if you're staying there for 5 nights and 6 days, you're going to get 5 table service meals a person, 5 quick service, and 10 snacks. It's not like you have to use those out per day as they're proportioned. If you want to use 3 table service meals in a day, you sure can, and then only use quick service another day. It's totally up to you. It's kind of like a bank of meals and snacks, and that's what you have per person for your trip. But on AllEars, we break it down. We've got all the information about all the different dining plans. But for right now, I'm just going to talk about the standard one since that's the one most people get. So again, you get 2 different snacks. Snacks can be anything from popcorn. They can be ice cream cones. They can be bottles of water and soda. There's a ton of different things that snacks can be. It can be a cupcake. It can be a muffin, a baked good. Lots and lots of different snack options around Walt Disney World. A quick service meal is at any of the quick service locations that participate, which is the vast majority of them. At the quick service meal, you're going to get an entree, whatever comes with said entree, and a drink, and it can be an alcoholic beverage. And then at a table service meal, you're going to get an entree, a drink, again, can be alcoholic, or a specialty beverage like a milkshake or something like that. And then at table service meals, you also get a dessert. So it's a lot of food. That's the main thing to know about the Disney dining plan. So for some people, it's too much food and they don't eat that much. They're not going to eat that much, and the Disney dining plan is not worth the money for them. However, for other people, they like the convenience of being able to pay for it in advance. It's factored in to their whole room resort ticket package, so they like the convenience of the fact that it's done. We've got so many articles on AllEars about the dining plan, how to use it, how to maximize it, but long story short, it's a way to prepay for all of your meals and your snacks, and then you can use them throughout the trip as you see fit. But before you book the dining plan or decide if it's a great idea or not for your family, my biggest recommendation is look at some of the places you want to eat. Look at the AllEars menu pages. We have up-to-date menus with the prices on there. Kind of start putting together how much it would cost your family to spend a day in Walt Disney World and see if that is balances out with the dining plan, and you can easily figure out which is the best for your family. A lot of you had some really good questions about the dining plan. What are the best uses of snack credits? How to maximize your dining plan? Don't worry, I got all of those questions, and those will be featured in another episode of these Q&A videos. So if you have any other questions about the dining plan, we're definitely going to put another poll up, another post up. So don't worry, more dining plan answers are coming your way. I get this question a lot as well, and it's a really good one because when you're in Disney World, it's not a relaxing lay by the pool vacation for the most part, though I do recommend doing that as well. But it's a lot of walking. A lot of people don't realize how much walking, like I'm talking multiple miles a day. Most days when I'm in the parks, I walk anywhere from 16 to 20,000 steps or more. So you definitely need to have good shoes. I don't wear sandals to the park unless I'm like leisurely walking around, which never happens because I'm always running everywhere trying to get a bunch of FastPasses. So I brought props. Here's my 3 favorite pairs of shoes. These are filthy, so I'm so sorry. I have a couple pairs of these Adidas Superstars that are really comfy and they're cute. So I wear those. I also have these dope rose gold New Balances that I got for Christmas. Thank you, Santa. And I wear these a lot as well. And I also have a couple of pairs of Nikes. These are just Nikes, like most basic model. I have them in black, 2 pairs because they go with everything. So as you can see, I'm clearly not loyal to one tennis shoe brand. I'm loyal to the tennis shoes that are cute. So I recommend tennis shoes. I do not recommend breaking in shoes at Walt Disney World. Get them, walk around them at your house, walk around them in your neighborhood, take them on a treadmill, break them in before you get to Disney because there's nothing worse than getting a blister and then still having to walk all over the parks. This was actually one of the most popular questions I got asked several times, and it's a really good question, especially because you book your FastPasses in advance, 60 days out if you're staying at a Disney resort, 30 days out if not, and people want to know, what do I pick when I'm going to the parks? And I actually printed out a little cheat sheet. I printed out all the FastPass attractions, and I'm going to walk through what I would pick, as well as some suggestions for when you are picking. First things first, Magic Kingdom. So the number one thing you should go for at Magic Kingdom, the number one thing I go for when I'm going to Magic Kingdom is Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. It is a roller coaster. It swings this way. It's super, super fun. And it goes into the mine with the Seven Dwarves. It's a really great attraction, 38-inch height requirement. And it's one of the most popular attractions in all of Walt Disney World, not just the Magic Kingdom. So it's probably the hardest FastPass to get in the park. So you should make that your top priority when you're going to Magic Kingdom. The next thing that I get, another really popular one, Peter Pan's Flight. This is a classic Disney attraction. It's in Fantasyland, no height requirement. Everybody in the family can enjoy, and it's definitely one of those rite of passage, everybody needs to ride it type attractions. So that should be your number 2. For my third FastPass, I am gonna go with one of the other mountains. That's a choice between Space Mountain, Splash Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. These are all very popular attractions at Magic Kingdom. They're all super fun thrill rides, must-dos in my book. And basically, you can't go wrong picking which of those 3 is your favorite as your third FastPass. For me, I would probably pick Space first. That one seems to be a little bit trickier to get on the app, followed by Big Thunder, lastly Splash. Sorry, Splash is my least favorite of the 3 mountains. Please don't yell at me, but I don't love getting wet. And also, beyond that, Splash Mountain is usually easier to pick up in the app than Space Mountain if you are working in the app later. So if you have little kids and you don't plan on riding Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or any of the other mountains, then I would suggest doing some classics like Haunted Mansion. That can get a pretty long line. Jungle Cruise can get a pretty long line. If there's any characters they're dying to meet and you want to guarantee that you can meet them, the princesses in Fairy Tale Hall or Mickey, you may want to grab one of those as well. But again, I think Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is amazing, and if you have people tall enough to ride it, you're definitely going to want to make that your top priority. Next park, Epcot. So the other 3 parks, aside from Magic Kingdom, are all in a tiered FastPass system, meaning they have divided up the attractions that take FastPass into Tier 1 and Tier 2. Tier 1 is your most popular attractions. You're going to be able to pick 1 out of Tier 1, and then the remaining FastPasses, the other 2, you have to pick out of Tier 2. So in Epcot's Tier 1, you've got Frozen Ever After, Epcot Forever, Test Track, and Soarin'. Those are all really good attractions, but for me, my top pick is going to be Frozen Ever After. That's the hardest FastPass to get in Epcot. It's a great attraction, family attraction. Anybody can ride it. I don't care who you are. You know you like Frozen and Let It Go, and it's really fun. So that one's the hardest to get, so that's my top choice. If you're like definitely not a Frozen person or you think you don't want to ride it, the number 2 you should get, or if you can't get Frozen, of course, the number 2 you should get, in my opinion, is Test Track. That's another big thrill ride. It's a lot of fun, very popular, and even though I like Soarin' more than Test Track, personally, Soarin' is an easier FastPass to get, so that's why I would say go for Test Track before you go for Soarin'. As far as your Tier 2s go, I get this question a lot as well. Do I have to book 2 other attractions? Like, I don't actually care about anything in Tier 2. Why do I need to book FastPasses? That's because as soon as you use your initial 3 FastPasses that you book in advance, you can get more FastPasses one by one throughout the day, and it doesn't matter which tier they're in. I've done a lot of videos on this in each park that we'll link for you, where I see how many FastPasses I can get in one park in one day, and I've been able to get every FastPass in every park in each of these videos. So the reason you want to pick 2 Tier 2 attractions, even if they're not must-dos for you, even if they don't usually have a long line, you need to tap your band and use that FastPass so that you can get more later. So for Tier 2, I would pick Spaceship Earth, which that is allegedly going under refurbishment May 26th. That's the last thing that Disney announced prior to the closure, because they're doing a huge reimagining of Spaceship Earth. However, that was my top choice for Tier 2. TBD what it's going to be when the parks reopen. Besides that, I would say Mission Space is a good choice. It's actually kind of a difficult FastPass to get because it's like the biggest thrill ride in Tier 2. So if you want to ride Mission Space, that's not a bad choice. Living with the Land's another good one because that one sometimes gets a longer line. It's sometimes a walk-on, but it's sometimes like 30 minutes. So one of those, but honestly, just pick 2 things in Tier 2 that you're planning on doing anyway. The Seas, Turtle Talk, Figment, and just get the FastPass and use it even if you don't necessarily need it, so that you can move on and get more FastPasses after you've used up those initial 3. Disney's Hollywood Studios. This one is a tricky one because they just redid the tiers because they've opened up new attractions. They added FastPass to some attractions that didn't have it, and I actually haven't gotten to play around with it yet. When the parks reopen, I am going to do a new FastPass challenge at Hollywood Studios so I can better answer this question because the parks unfortunately closed not long after Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway opened, and that's kind of the biggest question mark right now. So in Tier 1 at Hollywood Studios, you can choose from Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, you can do Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, or you can do Slinky Dog Dash. For me, I would pick Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway or Slinky Dog Dash as my Tier 1 Fast Pass because Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run has single rider. So worst comes to worst, you could always use single rider at Millennium Falcon. And then Mickey and Minnie's or Slinky Dog, I don't actually know which one's the better choice. I think personally I'd still pick Slinky Dog Dash because I love that attraction, but you can't go wrong either way. For my Tier 2s at Hollywood Studios, which is everything else in the park, and there's some really good choices. I would do Toy Story Mania because I love that attraction. I love that I've been on it a million times, but it's still always fun because it's a game and you can keep playing. And then I would choose between Rock and Roller Coaster or Tower of Terror. Whichever one of those is your favorite, I would get that one. Keep in mind, Rock and Roller Coaster does have single rider, so if you're okay splitting up your party and doing single rider, then maybe you want to do Tower of Terror. However, Tower of Terror seems to be an easier Fast Pass to get later in the day, so I'd probably do Rock and Roller Coaster if I was going with a group. I like it a little bit more than Tower of Terror, but those are great choices. I would not get at any of the parks any of the nighttime shows initially because that locks you in to having to wait all day, and then you could only ever get 3 Fast Passes because what I was saying earlier. So I love Fantasmic. I definitely recommend getting a Fast Pass for Fantasmic, but not as one of your initial picks. And lastly, Disney's Animal Kingdom. So there's only 2 attractions in Tier 1 there. It's the 2 attractions in Pandora, Flight of Passage, or Navi River Journey. For my Tier 1, Flight of Passage. No questions asked. That is the best Fast Pass that you can get in Animal Kingdom. It's one of the most popular attractions in all of Disney World. It's, I would wager, the hardest Fast Pass to get in Walt Disney World. So for my 2 Tier 2 attractions then, I would get Expedition Everest and Kilimanjaro Safaris. Out of all the Tier 2 attractions, I would say Kilimanjaro Safaris is the first one you should go for. It's an amazing family attraction. Everybody can ride it. It's the flagship attraction at Animal Kingdom. You can't go there and not go see animals, of course. So I would go for that one. This is where it gets dicey. If I cannot get Flight of Passage, I'm not going to get a Tier 1 attraction at Animal Kingdom. I don't think Navi River Journey is worth using an initial Fast Pass, and so if I can't get Flight of Passage, I'm going to get Festival of the Lion King or Dinosaur as my 3rd Fast Pass, and then only pick out of Tier 3, and hope once I use those up, I can still get Navi River Journey, and maybe, who knows, Flight of Passage later once I'm in the park. I already told you my Fast Pass picks, but what am I rope dropping? I am most likely rope dropping Flight of Passage because I'm not usually staying at a Disney resort, which means I can only pick my Fast Passes 30 days out, which means I'm probably not getting Flight of Passage. So Flight of Passage is definitely one I recommend rope dropping if you can't get a Fast Pass. Typically, they will open it up earlier than the park opens. So if the park actually opens at 9, usually you can get into the park around 8:15, and then you can get in line before the park actually opens. I've done that several times in different videos, and I've gotten on the attraction in less than an hour usually, and that's pretty good for Flight of Passage considering it will get upwards of a 3+ hour wait during the day. So if you can't get a Fast Pass for it, I definitely recommend rope dropping Flight of Passage. If you can't get a Fast Pass for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, that's another one to consider rope dropping at Magic Kingdom. Keep in mind though, whenever I'm telling you, that's what everyone else is doing as well. So you will still probably have to wait in a line. You're not likely going to just walk on to said attractions, but you will probably get on and off the ride in about an hour, which is pretty good considering their wait times normally. If you do have a Seven Dwarfs Mine Train Fast Pass, then I would pick whichever of the other mountains that you didn't get as fast passes as what to rope drop, it may be smarter to go to Frontierland, because you could probably knock out Big Thunder Mountain Railroad and Splash Mountain pretty early, right when the park opens, before there's 2 long lines, and then that's 2 big attractions that you're knocking out really quick. At Hollywood Studios, everybody's there early to get a Rise of the Resistance boarding group, so it's kind of hard to actually rope drop anything because everybody's already there. So the best bet that I've seen, though, is to go down Sunset Boulevard. It seems like most people rope drop, get their boarding group, and then go to Galaxy's Edge or Toy Story Land. So I would actually go down Sunset and do Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster first thing in the morning, and hopefully not have lines at those 2 long attractions. And at Epcot, there's not a ton you need to rope drop. I would rope drop Test Track, I guess, if I had a Frozen Ever After FastPass. But that's what I would do if I was getting there early to rope drop these attractions. I used what I call the fiddle faddle, which if you've watched any of my FastPass challenge videos, you'll see me explain it a little bit more. But basically that means I keep refreshing the app by selecting new options and new times, and it will generate new options than your initial screen. So if you can't get one of the best FastPasses that I've been talking about, but in your initial booking, keep checking periodically as your trip is upcoming. Keep playing around with the app, keep playing around on the website, see if you can get it that way. Otherwise, when I'm in the park, there's usually better luck. I don't really know why. I also sometimes go to the FastPass kiosks that are located around the parks, which seem to sometimes yield different results than when I'm doing it on the app. But mostly just keep trying, keep fiddling. If you have a big group with you, maybe break it up into smaller parts. If you've got a group of 6, maybe try and do 3 and 3. If you can get one group to get Seven Dwarfs Mine Train from 1 to 2, and you can get the other group from 1:30 to 2:30, then you could all go together in that 1:30 to 2 o'clock range. So just keep trying, keep fiddling with it, and don't give up even once you're in the park, because you often will have better luck once you're actually there and it's the day of. Another very popular question, and I have another prop here. It's one of my Loungeflies. I get the question a lot too, like what kind of bag I carry, and my preferred bag are these Loungefly mini backpacks. I have this rose gold one, and then I have a Buzz Lightyear one, and they carry more than they look like. But also, I'm usually in the park by myself or with adult companions. I don't have any kids, and I'm sure if you have to bring kids with you, you have to bring a lot more stuff. But for me, this is what I bring. A few key things in here. I always have wipes. I know I just said I don't have children with me, but have you seen me eat anything? I eat like a toddler. So I always have wipes, because chocolate, ice cream, anything gets all over my face and my hands. So gotta have those. I always have some makeup stuff to touch up. I've got lipsticks and concealer, because, you know, Florida heat, am I right? I have, let's see what else. This is a fun game. I have several battery chargers. Keep my phone powered throughout all of the filming. I mostly use these fuel rods. If you're unfamiliar, these are $30 each. And when you buy them, they have machines all over Walt Disney World and the parks and the resorts. They're $30. They come with the charger itself, as well as cords for both an iPhone and an Android. But the perk of them is you can swap them out forever for free. At one point, they were going to charge you to swap, but they decided not to do that. So you can swap out any of these at any of the kiosks throughout the park. So these aren't the best, most powerful chargers in the world, but the fact that I can always get a new one when my battery's running low, that's a perk for me. Let's see what else is in here. I've got a Tide to Go pen. That's important because, again, messy eater. I've got a spork from the Flower and Garden Festival, which I've continued to use even after that kicked off, so that I don't have to use disposable things. I also weirdly have glow cubes from different drinks I've gotten at Disney World. Certain cocktails will come with these. You can always ask for them not to if you want them to cost a little bit less, but I often get them, and now they're in my bag so I can have any drink be a fun drink. But also I had my family visit recently, and my nephews thought these were really cool, so they could put them in their sodas and stuff. So yeah, I randomly have glow cubes. I've got some hair ties, because sometimes you got to tie your hair up. I do consider myself to look like a young colonial boy who's going to take up a musket for his country when I put my hair in a ponytail, which is why it's always down when I'm filming. But sometimes on big roller coasters or water rides, you got to put your hair up. Oh, I also carry weather stuff. I kind of forgot about that. I took it out of my backpack and put it in my car, but I also carry a little umbrella because you never know what's going to happen in Florida weather. Deodorant, obviously. Baby powder is like the potato of personal products in that any way you use it, it's always going to be fantastic. So put it in your shoes. Put it in your hair for dry shampoo. I have been that desperate before. And then I also carry a product called Mega Babe, which is an anti-chafing stick. And it will, like, trust me, chafing will ruin your life if you're at the Disney parks. No shame. So I always carry one of those as well. But you don't have to memorize that. I did a post on AllEars with everything in my bag with links to get everything. And we'll link that to this video as well so that you can shop that. I did recently have my family visit, and it was so much fun. There were 13 of us in total, and yeah, it definitely spanned every generation from grandparents to my 2-year-old niece. So that is really fun, but it can be really daunting to plan a trip like that as well because, again, I've got my 2-year-old niece, I've got my thrill-seeking uncle. You want to make sure everybody has fun and everybody gets to do what they want to do, which, of course, is not going to always align. So my biggest tip is, remember, you don't have to do everything together. For example, my cousin wanted to take her daughter to the princess dining at Akershus in Norway because, of course, what 2-year-old doesn't want to go eat with the princesses? You know who doesn't want to eat with the princesses? All the adults that don't have kids. So we split up. Half of the group went and had delicious pizza in Via Napoli. The other part of the group went and had princess dining in Norway. So a big thing to remember is it's okay to split up. It'll make everybody happy, and you don't have to book every dining reservation together. You don't have to book every FastPass together. Brings me to my next point with the attractions. Make sure you know how tall your kids are before you get to the parks. This is because not every attraction, every kid's going to be able to ride. You can save yourself some meltdowns if you know in advance that the 2-year-old's not going to be able to ride Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. So in that case, I let mom go on the attraction with her older kids. I took the 2-year-old and I bought her both blue and green milk because she asked for both and I'm weak and just wanted her not to cry. So that works for parenting, I think, right? Just get them a lot of sugar. Anyway, just know in advance how tall your kids are, what the height requirements are. We have an easy reference guide on AllEars that we'll link for you. So that way you know in advance, hey, big brother can ride this, little brother can't. What's nearby that little brother can ride so that he doesn't get sad that older brothers get to go on the attraction. And again, make sure you're okay splitting up. Know what's nearby for the older generations in the group as well. Maybe your grandparents don't want to ride Rock and Roller Coaster, even though everybody else does. So maybe point them to the Beauty and the Beast show or something else nearby that they're going to enjoy. So those are my biggest tips. Do a lot of research. Have the things planned that you guys want to all do together, but make sure everybody gets to have fun and put their say in. And actually, maybe have everybody say like their top 3 things they want to do in the park and then plan from there. Well, I already covered what's in my bag, but I also wear a lot of Disney T-shirts, which you've probably seen if you watch the videos. So I just got this one, actually. It's from Target. It's Pizza Planet. I have another Pizza Planet shirt, but obviously I needed 2. But mostly what I do in the parks, I want to be comfortable, but I still want to be cute. So I do a lot of Disney T-shirts and then either jean shorts, a jean skirt, some kind of flowy shorts that I'll add a little breeze, or I'll do like a casual t-shirt dress. So if you are looking for where I shop for my t-shirts. I get most of them at Target. I get some at Shop Disney. I do get a few in the parks, especially when they have some kind of sale or deal going. I get several things off Amazon. And then my favorite spot to get shirts is actually called Uniqlo. It is a Japanese department store. They do have a website, but they also have a store in Disney Springs. And they have really cool shirts and they're really reasonable priced. Like initially, before they even go on sale, they're $15, and then they will knock them down to $9 and $5 like a few weeks after, because they always have new collections coming out. So those are the places I shop. I actually just did a post on AllEars on this as well, listing all of my t-shirts and where I got them and links for the ones that are still available. But one of my shopping tips is I often buy children's t-shirts in the biggest size that they have. It seems like a boy's extra large from Target or Amazon fits me just fine. So those are usually less expensive, and sometimes kids get cooler shirts than adults. So that's where I shop. But yeah, I just find a cool Disney t-shirt and go from there. First of all, I don't think there's going to be a perfect itinerary, because from what I understand of toddlers is their mood is going to change quite rapidly. So I don't think there's a perfect itinerary that you could lay out, but there's definitely some ways to plan in advance. Like I said, I recently was in the parks with my family. There was a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 7-year-old. I know not all of them are toddlers, but they are kids, and I'm not normally with kids. So some of the things I learned were that, again, kids' moods are going to change frequently. I thought my niece was going to love to do the Frozen sing-along, but she didn't want to do that. She wanted to go meet Olaf instead. So first things first, it's okay if they change their mind. It's okay if they don't want to do something that you had planned on them doing, unless it's like Peter Pan or Dumbo, which you should probably make them ride regardless, because it's a rite of passage and basically a requirement of a first time to Disney. But things are going to change. What I would do is I would have a couple of key things you want to do in each park. Make sure you get those done, and then anything else is just extras on top. Again, like I said, if you've got older kids with them as well, you want to make sure that you know what the toddlers are going to be able to do nearby those attractions, so you don't run into a situation where everybody else is excited to go ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and then one person's stuck with the toddler and they don't know what to do, and then they're sad and blah, blah, blah. So make sure you know what's nearby that won't have long lines, or go get a treat nearby or something like that. Also, definitely use Rider Switch, especially, again, if you've got older kids that can ride some of those thrill rides. Mom and dad, you both want to ride some of the big thrill rides. Rider Switch allows one parent to take the older kids, or just adults go on the attraction first in the regular queue, or if they have a FastPass, they can use that. Then you can use the Rider Switch, and the parent that had to wait with the toddler outside can now go back into the attraction on the FastPass side, so that way they don't have to wait. And you can go up to the attractions that offer Rider Switch, which is pretty much all of them, and just talk to a cast member there and they'll put it on your Magic Band. So we've got posts on that on AllEars as well. So, my last tip for toddlers is have snacks on your person, so that you're not relying on Disney snacks. You can get certain food delivered, like Amazon Prime Now will often deliver to the Disney resorts. You can use Shipt. There's other grocery delivery services, but make sure you've got some snacks in your bag for your little ones that you know they're going to like: goldfish, granola bars, gummy snacks, whatever they normally eat. So that way, if they start getting hungry because your meal times are a little off or whatever, since their schedule has been changed, if they start getting a little hungry, a little fussy, you've got something right there, and then you're not trying to go find some kind of snack for them in the park. First of all, Extra Magic Hours, if you're not familiar, it is a perk given to guests that are staying at Walt Disney World resorts, and it's when one park will open up, usually an hour early, or stay open a few hours late, usually 3 hours after the park closes. Most of the big attractions are open, and it's a way to ride some of the big attractions without having such long lines. But that is a really good question. There is some theory. I would say, first of all, if you're not staying at a Disney resort and you have no desire to do Extra Magic Hours because you can't, I would still look at the calendar for Extra Magic Hours, and I would not go to the park that offers it in the morning. By trade, that park is going to be the busiest because all the resort guests are going to go for Extra Magic Hours. So if you're not going for Extra Magic Hours, go to a different park. If you are a resort guest and you're trying to go to extra magic hours, then I would say plan to go to extra magic hours. And then if you have a park hopper, possibly leave right after, because again, it is going to be the busiest because everybody that's staying at resorts wants to take advantage of that awesome extra magic hours. Same thing with the evening ones, except for it's I would say a little bit different. That park will likely get more crowded in the evening as it gets closer to extra magic hours. So it just depends what you want to do. But I would say probably go to that park all day. You're gonna see that impacted less at the evening magic hours than as you would at the morning extra magic hours, because the park immediately is crowded the moment it opens, as opposed to people trickling in after rope drop. Ooh, I love this question because I do really enjoy Universal Studios because I'm a big Harry Potter nerd. So more Universal questions, please. We can sprinkle those in. But anyway, this is a very good question, and I am going to tell you to get a Universal hotel, but it's probably not for the reason that you think. One of the best things about Universal hotels at a certain level, they offer you free, it's not FastPass, Priority Pass. It's Universal's version of FastPass, but it is something that most people have to pay for. There's different levels of it, but basically you buy a FastPass for the day, and then it works on a bunch of different attractions. And if you are staying at a certain level of Universal Resort, that is part of the perk of staying there, and you get that for free. So that can run you over $100 per person, depending what time of year it is. So for me, I would stay at Universal at one of these hotels and then get this free Priority Pass. So not for the reason you think, but yes, I think you should stay at a Universal hotel for that reason. I love a cruise question as well because I absolutely had the best time on the Disney Dream. Seems like forever ago at this point. But we do have a couple more cruise videos coming your way, so stay tuned for those. But I think anyone could enjoy themselves upon a Disney cruise. As long as you're a Disney fan, you can enjoy a Disney cruise. It's definitely more family oriented than some other cruise lines out there, but there's a lot for the adults to do, a lot for the couples to do. There is an adults only pool. There are certain restaurants that are adults only. There's adult only beaches when you're at Castaway Cay, which is Disney's private island. So couples, you could definitely do a very romantic and magical vacation. But families, you're also going to have an amazing time because, of course, it's Disney. Nobody does family entertainment better than them. So as far as what's included with a Disney cruise, there are restaurants every night that are included, or you can upgrade to some of those fancier restaurants that I did go to and I've shown in both the cruise videos. Remy and Palo, those are both upcharges. Those are also both 18 and up. So if you are looking for a romantic cruise, I would definitely recommend booking a meal at one of those, depending which experience you like. Soda is included on Disney cruises for everyone. That's a huge deal because most cruise lines, you have to buy a soda package. Alcohol, for the most part, is not included and something that you would pay for extra. But the food's all really good. You don't have to do the upgraded meals, and it's a lot of fun, and it's magic on a whole new level. Yay! It's bonus question time. So again, these are some questions that didn't fall into one of the main categories. They're just for fun. So here we go. I got this question a lot too, and I get this in the comments a lot about why I'm so scared of Ursula. It was definitely a childhood fear. I don't know why Ursula was the scariest villain to me. There's some that are way scarier, I'm sure, but Ursula terrified me as a child to the point that when I would watch Little Mermaid, which was frequent, sorry mom, she would have to fast forward on our VHS tape all the scenes that Ursula was in because I would have a straight meltdown. One time time she was taking a nap and I just like popped it in the VHS player, and it was that scene that's so terrifying where she like smiles and then just her eyes remain on the screen, and I freaked out, and my grandfather who was visiting was like, what is wrong with you? My mom had to run out and be like, no, she can't see Ursula. So it's definitely a childhood fear. One time when I was very young, I was at Magic Kingdom, and it was Spectrum Magic, if anyone remembers that nighttime parade, and I was sitting on my dad's shoulders and my whole family's there and we're watching the parade, and I'm so honored that all these people are here putting on a parade for me. And then I saw the Ursula float rolling down, and I looked at my mom and I said, what is she doing here? And I was horrified that Ursula would ruin my parade, so I made everyone in my family turn around until her float went by. So yeah, it's a childhood fear, but like, I watched Little Mermaid recently, and she legit is pretty scary, so. No. No. Oh no. Oh my God, no. Ooh. Obviously, I'm watching a lot of Disney Plus right now. Who isn't? I would say, of course, I'm always like consistently, if I can't find anything, I just turn on one of the Toy Stories or Lion King because those are my favorite Disney movies. But I've been watching a lot of Disney movies thanks to some playlists I made, some of them with your help that we put on AllEars, where it's like all the princess movies or all the animal movies. And I did a Pixar movie marathon, a princess movie marathon, an animals movie marathon, and now I'm in the middle of doing like a BFFs movie marathon. So those are all really fun, and those are all on AllEars. Besides those, I have no shame in admitting that I loved High School Musical, the series, because I love High School Musical. So that's quite good if you are looking for something lighthearted and silly. That is a delight. I also really liked The World According to Jeff Goldblum, which a lot of people asked me if I'd seen the Coffee episode, and yeah, it was awesome. So I really enjoyed that too, as well as some of the other National Geographic content, because I love a good documentary. And lastly, my favorite thing that is exclusive to Disney Plus was the Imagineering story. If you haven't watched it yet, it's amazing. It's about Disney history, and it starts with Walt and goes through Galaxy's Edge, and it's got some of the Imagineers and the former executives, and they show you behind the scenes stuff, and it's amazing. And if you're a Disney nerd, you need to watch it. I get questions like this a lot as well. No, Disney does not compensate me. I do not work for Disney. I proudly work with Disney sometimes. They invite me to media events for new attractions or new things that are opening. They may invite me, and I'll always let you know if I'm a guest of Disney. But no, Disney doesn't compensate me. I work for the website AllEars, and it's the best job ever. So I not only get to make these videos, but I do some of the social media, and I get to write for the blog, and it's super awesome and amazing. And thank you guys times a million for watching, because you're why I get to have this really awesome job. But I go to the parks when I'm able. On average, I would say 4 times a week. Sometimes it's 7 times a week. It just depends what's happening. If new attractions are opening and a festival's kicking off and I'm filming 3 different videos that week, then yeah, I may be there every day. So I'm very, very lucky that I get to go to the Disney parks on average, usually like 4 or 5 times a week. This is such a good question, and I don't actually know if I have an answer. Any of them, whichever one I can get to first. Probably Magic Kingdom, though, and I just want to be there. I just want to get a Rice Krispie treat at the confectionery and watch the Dapper Dans and see the castle. So I can't wait to go back. Thank you guys so much for following along. Thank you so much for sending in your questions. I hope you had fun. I had so much fun answering a bunch of your questions. I hope that was helpful. I hope you're looking forward to new series and new episodes of this. Leave us questions in the comments. Look out on social media for the next time that we post asking for more questions. Thank you guys again. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe right now. And in the meantime, make sure to rate, review, subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram at AllEars.net. And until next time, y'all, I'm Molly, and it's been magical.
Want to see more of my videos? Click over here. Want to subscribe? You can do that right here. And also, ring that notification bell to make sure you get instantly notified anytime we post a new video. Thanks for following. See you real soon.